Holii, bienvenidos. En este vídeo vamos a hacer la misión legendaria de Neuvillette. Ya hemos terminado el acto 4 de Fontaine y se ha abierto la legendaria de Neuvillette que me habéis recomendado que hagamos antes del acto 5 y eso es lo que vamos a hacer. Antes de nada deciros que tenéis el link en la descripción de mi canal de Discord por si queréis uniros y de mi canal de Twitch donde ahora mismo estamos en directo. Y ahora sí, vamos a darle caña a la misión legendaria de Neuvillette. Perfecto.
So many questions about his true identity. Let's go talk to him and
Sí,
find
yo también
out.
tengo muchas preguntas que hacerle. Hoy vamos a utilizar de main así, super cookie, al Kazu, ya que su cumple. Por... Ay. Vamos a poner a Cazuelas, que su cumple, ¿no? Y así. So, señoría Neuvillette, tengo muchas preguntas que hacerte, mi amor.
Time to go.
Wait, did I hear that right? Monsieur Neuvillette, are you sure you'd like to take...
That's right.
No, but why? Technically speaking, cases like this are better left to the guard. Neuvillette! Sidine! Hey there! What are you two talking about? Ugh, Traveler in Paimon, please help me talk our Chief Justice out of this. He wants to investigate a case on his own. This is completely unprecedented. How can we have the Udex acting like a private detective? Hmm?
Thank you for your concern, but I currently have no such plans. Oh, apologies. I took your question in earnest, but it now occurs to me that it was most likely in jest.
So, what is it exactly? It sure sounds serious if it's...
A Melusine named Kiara received a threat letter.
¿Kiara? Ah, no, Kirara. Por un momento he pensado que Kiara era Kirara, ¿vale? Se me ha ido la perola. Me he rayado de una melusina. ¿Kirara? ¿What?
And then?
That is all the information I have acquired at this stage.
Qué voz tan fina y elegante, digo.
Huh? I have no idea why you're so hung up over this. I've checked the schedule in advance and it seems like there aren't any trials today. So, if you insist, I have no objections.
Thank you for understanding. I will leave a note explaining my absence on my desk. I would appreciate it if you could take it to Lady Farina. She may have no interest in official affairs, but standard procedure dictates that I'm still responsible for reporting to her.
Yes, understood.
Yes.
I'll come back later and deliver the note to her.
¡Qué mona!
Judging from Sidine's reaction, it must be pretty rare for you to investigate stuff personally.
I cannot tell you just yet, but it reminded me of certain... There could be complicated conflicts of interest behind all this, so I must eliminate all risks in advance.
Come on, stop being so secretive. We still have no idea what's going on.
It is not my intention to keep you in the dark, but I need some time to revisit those memories and collect my thoughts.
Cuenta, soy tu psicólogo.
Long story short, a little more than 400
Hace poco
years
más
ago, I became
de
the Udex
400
of
años, como si
Fontaine
fuera
and
ayer.
initiated a series of institutional reforms. There were few people I could trust, but I had two subordinates who were exceptionally trustworthy and capable. Carol, a Melusine, and Vautrin, leader of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol.
Sí que me gustan mayores, Sí que me gustan mayores. Qué punto... ¿Qué de eso tengo, tío?
They must have been amazing people to receive such high praise
Bueno,
from
voy
you.
variando entre mayores y jóvenes. Alacén no tiene muchos años y Río tampoco.
Indeed. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to protect them.
Pero Neuvillette estuvo en aquel encuentro tan casual que ocurrió hace 500 años que constantemente le preguntamos a todo el mundo por el tema.
The reforms damaged the interests of some, and the more conservative faction took advantage of Carol's identity to instigate political unrest. Ultimately, they wanted me to yield more of my power.
Está viejo Zongli. Está más viejo Zongli. Neuvillette es como el vino, entre más viejo más sabroso. Aquí también me gusta el trota y tiene unos cuantos añitos también, Diría que esperaras a terminar la misión. Vale. Ya sabrás, lo que está joven y no lo parece tanto es arlequino. Las reformas puestas en marcha supusieron un duro mazazo para algunos miembros de la sociedad. Una facción conservadora aprovechó la identidad de Carol para promover una serie de arrechos de carácter político. Su objetivo era obligarme a renunciar a parte de mis poderes legislativos.
The incident resulted in Carol taking her own life and Vautrin being exiled. From then on, I've been especially careful when dealing with cases related to Melusines. All Melusines used to live a secluded life away from human society. I granted their wishes when some of them, including Carol, asked me to bring them to the court of Fontaine. Many common folk believe that I share a special bond with the Melusines, and whatever they do can be traced back to me.
Yo lo pensaba, la verdad, porque sigue Win está locamente obsesionada contigo.
Some of them, especially those who hold a grudge against me, exploit that belief and stir up conflict over Melusine. I have nothing against the opinions of others, but the moment a whirlpool of conspiracy forms, it inevitably affects the innocent. It has already happened once, and I want to make sure it does not happen again.
Even so, why do you have to be the one investigating? There's the guards, the Maréchaussée Phantom, and the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol. Aren't they more than enough to figure out what's going on?
Based on prior experience, there is a high chance that those who hold hostility towards me do not belong to the same department.
Su voz alborota varios de hombre, tío. ¿Qué os pasa? ¿Qué os pasa, tío?
The political system of Fontaine is relatively complex and involves the interests of multiple different factions. However, since I am technically an outsider in Fontaine, a lot of trouble could be avoided if I personally...
Outsider? But aren't you the Chief Justice of Fontaine? Why would you be an outsider?
Su voz pone a tambalear mi intersexualidad.
I understand where you are coming from, but there is not necessarily a connection between my responsibilities and how I perceive myself. You know very well about my true identity, and have even met others of my kind in other nations.
Incluso han conocido a otros de mi especie en otras naciones.
Even though I was born with a human form, there is a fundamental difference between taking on the role of Chief Justice does not make me a part of this community.
No recuerdo haber conocido
In fact,
ningún
the
dragón.
status I was granted has prevented me from forming deeper bonds with others.
Dragón en plan Neuvillette.
I have lived in Fontaine for a long time, but I do not belong here. That is why I call myself an outsider. A fish.
Yeah, we have nothing to do with all those organizations anyway. So how about we come with you on your... Let's team up and round up all the bad guys lurking in the dark.
That does not sound like a bad idea. I rarely investigate cases on my own, but with professionals like you
No
around,
lo has hecho
I'm
por
sure it
cierta
will go a
misión,
lot
aunque
smoother.
deberías haberlo hecho. ¡Ah! La legendaria de Najida. Sí. Es que se le plantó a ella a ir a la cima y todavía no me ha apetecido ir a la cima. No me ha apetecido, no me ha dado tiempo, la verdad.
Oh, Paimon's starting to get a little embarrassed.
Ay, ¿qué le ha dicho? No es mala idea, solo investigar los casos de mi cuenta. Ahora estoy seguro de que el proceso resultaría mucho más sencillo si contara con profesionales como ustedes. Ay, Paimo, que me sonrojo, yo también.
I will write my note of absence right away. Let us depart together once I'm done. Let us go. We should visit Kiara first and try to gain a better understanding of the situation.
So Neuvillette feels like he doesn't truly belong here in Fontaine, but is that really... Paimon feels like he has a kinda skewed perspective on a lot.
Cicatrices del pasado, se llama.
Paimon's been thinking. You called yourself a fish out of water, right?
Aunque también conoce a otros dragones no soberanos, como Zhongli de Bali.
Thank you for your suggestion.
Ajá, sí.
I will consider using the more
Pero me
accurate term in
refería al
private
nivel de
occasions.
Zhongli.
Please allow me to rephrase. Has a dragon out of water?
¿En serio que no tengo el TP de ahí? No me jodería. ¿Pero debajo o encima? Encima. Bueno, pues este TP está más cerca, ¿no? Bueno, en verdad creo que es más cerca y resto. Ay, se me olvida que no sé. Troti, lo siento. Troti, digo, caso. Qué mala ascenso de palo.
The weather's amazing today.
Qué menos más mona.
Kiara,
¿De dónde vienen las melusinas? Mucho estoy preguntando.
Monsieur Neuvillette! And you are? Oh, I remember. You're the traveler and Paimon. I've heard about...
Aw, she's adorable. Hey there, it's nice to meet
Dice, qué cosita tan adorable, como si ella fuera.
Thanks for the compliment. Is there anything I can do for you?
A la misión de mundo, a su misión de mundo, si quieres spoileame. ¿Crees que llegaremos a ver a Neuvillette en su forma de dragón alguna vez? No lo sé, porque si él dice que nació humano. Son parientes de Albedo. ¿Son parientes de Albedo? ¿En serio? Perros finos. Vaya.
I heard from Sidine that you received a threatening letter.
A threatening letter? Oh, right! I remember now. The letter fell through the crack in my door as I was heading out this
Dragón es
morning.
macho
It said something
precioso.
about catching
No
me,
conocida
so
esa
I
que vi a
thought someone
Neuvillette.
wanted to play hide and seek. But Sidine told me it was a threatening letter, and that I could be in danger. But that's not gonna happen with everyone
Have you run into any suspicious-looking people recently?
Suspicious-looking people? What counts as suspicious? Ah!
Did you think of something?
Nope. I don't remember meeting anyone like that.
Do you still have the letter with you?
Oh, let's see.
No leo un carajo. Traduce,
Now
duele.
then.
Largo, si no
Get
abandonas la
lost. If you don't leave the Maréchaussée Phantom, I will come and catch you in person. A simple threat. Neither the handwriting nor the content itself reveals anything. We can't rule out that possibility. Since you can't think of anyone suspicious, I will be heading back to the Palais Kiara. You should come with us. It's safer if you stay close by.
Sure. Wait, no. I still have a case to work on.
But you are being watched right now. Going off on your own could be dangerous.
And that's where we come in to help. We'll stay with Kiara and make sure she's safe. With us around, anyone scheming to hurt Kiara...
Thank you, Traveler. Big Sis Paimon.
Don't worry, you're...
All right. Let us go our separate ways for now. Please take care of Kiara.
We'll take her to a lost place right away. See you around. So, Kiara, how old are you?
Yo te protejo, hija.
Let me think. 1, 2, 10? I can't remember. But I remember coming to the Court of Fontaine with Carol and
Pues ni más
Neuvillette.
rápido, tío.
That must have been a long time.
La melusina también tiene 400 años.
My memory isn't that good. But Carol told me I could address others based on how I feel about them. Paimon feels a lot more grown up than me, so...
Paimon muy
you're a big
madura.
sis.
¿Qué estás diciendo? ¿Que Paimon tiene más años?
Paimon, please.
Pero nosotros no sabemos realmente cuántos años tiene Paimon.
Hey, Traveler,
Sí,
did you
alguien le
hear
está
that?
haciendo foto. La sastrería Shiori.
Strange. Paimon felt like someone...
Olaf!
Kiara, you're here. Huh? Wait, aren't these two...
Oh, they're the Traveler and Big Sis Paimon.
I thought so. What brings you here? All right. Guess I shouldn't have asked.
May I begin inspecting the store as planned?
Of course.
Esto es de Chiori, ¿no? Ponía... No sé qué era esa estrella Chiori. Decía esta mujer empleada, algo de eso.
No hazards detected. You've cleared the inspection. Seems like the criminal from that cake.
That was quick. What were you inspecting?
I took a look around the shop. Neuvillette says that us Melazines have special eyes that can see things people can't. Things like bloodstains. No matter how hard you try to clean them up, we Melazines can see the residual stains for some time. All right. Now that you're done inspecting, hear me out. I'm planning to release an outfit for children next month and wanted to hire you as my model.
De Chiori podrás
Is that
entrar
okay
dentro
with
siempre
you?
que quieras. ¡Ay, qué guay!
Of course! Is there anything I need to do? Please wait a moment while I take your measurements. The sample should be a perfect...
Seems like they get along really well. Huh? What are you looking at? Is there really someone watching us?
Shh!
Vamos a correr. Ah, mira, Charlotte.
Strange. Why isn't he
A la
back
Charlotte que le
yet?
gusta mi cuenta, que yo me he salido 2 veces en el perma.
Gotcha! Ah! Charlotte, what are you doing here? Oh, wait, don't tell Paimon you're the one who sent Kiara that...
Threat letter? What threat letter? This is starting to feel like an interrogation. Okay, I'll be straight with you. I don't know the slightest thing about that threat letter you mentioned. I only want...
You want to interview him?
That's right. I'm not the only one, you know. Interviewing him is every journalist, but it's not an easy task to accomplish. The Palais Mermonia rarely accepts appointment requests from us, and so imagine how surprised I was seeing him out on the streets today. It seemed like you were investigating something too. Of course, I'll make sure to turn in my manuscript to him for review. I have my principles, and I'd never publish an article without the consent of all parties involved.
Yeah, we're doing a secret investigation that can't be made public knowledge.
I see. Well, if you say so, I guess I'll put this matter aside for now. In exchange, could you tell me what the threat letter is about? I swear I won't tell.
Es periodista y se cree que nos vamos a creer que no se lo va a contar a nadie. Venga ya.
All right then.
En serio, Paimon, ya caemos.
What? Someone's targeting a cute little Melazine?
Shh, not so loud.
It just so happens that I did an interview with Kiara. Last month, in fact. It was well received by our readers, so I was planning to continue the series. And now I'll ask my colleagues about it. Who knows? We might find something. And don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
Bueno, a ver si
This secret's safe with Bud, I gotta warn you. Even if I keep my lips sealed, others will know eventually.
Claro, le pone excusa esta señora.
Why?
People care a great deal about Monsieur Neuvillette's each and every move. Some may have already realized that something was up. Anyway, I'll get going now.
Well, that was a nice chat.
Bueno, la melusina tan mona esta. ¡Ay, mira! Clarita.
What do you think? The design looks pretty good, huh?
I think it's great!
Huh. It's very pretty indeed.
Oye, ahora mismo tengo los personajes de Fontaine. Os recuerdo, para quien esté viendo este vídeo, que he hecho el acto 4 y ahora estamos haciendo la misión legendaria de Neuvillette. Y luego vamos con el acto 5. Ahora mismo, mis dos personajes de Fontaine, incluso diría, no, en general no, porque está Nahida y Trotis, está Chlorine de Río y Neuvi. Pero Chlorine está en un nivel muy alto, Ahora mismo está así, está Chlorine de Río y Neuvi. Sé que va a cambiar, porque claro, seguramente Furina van a pasar cosas, lo sé, y con Neuvi más de lo mismo. Pero ahora mismo está Chlorine de Río y Neuvi y luego Furina. Pero bueno.
Cloran, what are you
Uy,
doing?
Nadia, no. Plan. Nadia. Uf, es que está ahí, está por ahí. Pero bueno. Más o menos me había entendido.
It seems that you just showed up out of nowhere.
As I passed by the Palais Mermonia, I heard that Neuvillette was investigating a case with you.
Pero hay que decirlo muy claro, los personajes de Fontaine están muy por encima de los personajes del resto de las naciones. Sin contar a Trotis, Nahida, los arcontes. Bueno, algunos arcontes sí. Pero los personajes en general de Fontaine están todos aquí, tío.
Technically speaking, he and I are under an employer-employee relationship.
El acto
It
5
didn't
es
feel
el
right to
pic
have
de
my
las historias de
employer
Furina
personally take on
Neuvillette.
such
Ya
trivial
verás, vas a
cases.
flipar. Y Mabuika God. Todavía no ha llegado.
I happen to have some time at the moment, and came to take a look. I sometimes have my clothes custom-made at this boutique, in any case, so we...
Ah, Neuvillette sure is lucky to have
Es
someone like you.
maravillosa.
Leave this to me. You should go meet up with Neuvillette.
Que yo pensaba que Clorinda iba a ser en plan random. Quiero decir, personaje más de Fontaine que salía de vez en cuando y todo ese rollo. Pero esta señora.
Okay then, we'll leave Kiara in your hands. Come on, let's...
Me voy a mejorar el conte indiscutible. Tendré mi opinión, pero seguro que va a ser más o menos la misma que la vuestra. Venga.
Oh, you're back. Is everything all right?
We ran into Cloran. She offered to help us protect Kiara.
That is good to hear. I trust her abilities.
We thought so too.
I've been looking over the case records, specifically inspection reports submitted by Kiara and major case. I've come up with two plans. On one hand, I could start with Kiara and track down the group behind all this step by step. On the other, I could also analyze the conflicting interests of these major cases and confirm my suspicions if there is indeed a mysterious group that bears a grudge against me.
They both sound like pretty solid plans, but can you really finish browsing through all these?
Don't worry. I'm a fast reader when it comes to official documents. After all, I have several hundred
Tengo
years
siglos
of
de
reviewing under
práctica
my
y
belt.
tal.
We'll help you read through them. We have nothing else to do.
Thank you. I will continue looking through the ones piled up on the desk, but feel...
Vale. A ver qué nos encontramos. ¡Oy, oy, oy! Acerca de Río. El acusado Riosley ha confesado todos sus crímenes y ha sido declarado culpable por su señor Neuvillette. Es verdad que nos enteramos de que Río había sido encarcelado y luego ya se hizo el rey de allí. Será cerrado al fuerte Merópide, donde cumplirá con su condena. Durante el juicio, su señor Neuvillette permaneció en silencio durante un periodo de tiempo considerable. Eran friends, ¿no? A ver, son friends. Acerca de Spina di Rosula. Calas, jefe de Spina di Rosula, fue retirado durante un duelo y murió a causa de la gravedad de sus heridas. El duelo con Cloriende. Ya por restaurar su honor ha llegado finalmente a su fin. El acusado Calas no objetó en ningún momento durante el juicio. El señor Neuvillette se acogió a su derecho de no omitir su juicio durante el proceso. Aún se están investigando los detalles. Eso es soborno. Los rumores de soborno dentro de la guardia se han agravado. La Unidad Especial de Seguridad y Vigilancia está investigando el caso y se ha producido la detención de todos los sospechosos. Los sospechosos han confesado los crímenes por lo que se les ha imputado. No me acuerdo ahora de eso. La Cámara Representativa ha firmado una petición para colaborar con la Gendarmería Fantasmal en cierto evento de carácter público. Situaciones relacionadas indican que la presencia de Melusina serviría para aumentar la popularidad de este tipo de eventos. Gendarmería Fantasmal aún no se ha pronunciado al respecto, aunque tampoco ha prohibido la participación de Melusina en dicho evento. La Guardia y la Gendarmería Fantasmal cooperaron durante la resolución del caso de contrabando. El principal acusado ya ha recibido una pena acorde con la gravedad de los delitos cometidos. Se va a consultar al adjunto para cualquier información relacionada con la lista de nombres.
We skimmed through some of them, but there wasn't anything useful. Oh, there are so many documents lying around.
I would love to answer that question, but the truth is I've never made a precise count. If memory serves me right, there should be at least 100,000 cases.
Whoa, that's a lot.
That might be how it seems from another's perspective, but trials and official duties are to me. There are many documents here. Take a break if you are tired.
You read Paimon's mind.
All right, let us take a break then.
La música clásica le da el toque porque este señor es tan señor.
Ay.
¿Crees que alguien podría engañar o estafar a Neuvillette? Sí. Fuera del juicio, sí. Creo que al carecer de hecho humano, no tiene el mismo derecho de sentimiento que los humanos, entonces creo que se la podían colar fácilmente. Pero sí.
Even though resting is a part of taking a break, shouldn't we at least talk about something? All this silence is making Paimon feel really awkward.
Please pardon my lack of consideration. People rarely come to the Palais Memoria for matters outside of work. To be quite honest, would you like to have some drinks, perhaps? You must be thirsty after all that work.
Ooh, drinks! Thank you! Paimon wonders what Neuvillette likes to drink. Oh, maybe he's a fan of really fancy... He seems like the type of person who'd own an entire winery.
Como Tigre.
You know, like T-Luke. What's inside these glasses? It looks just like water.
An astute observation. It is indeed water.
Como yo, Neuvillette. Agüita todo el día.
So it's just plain old...
Qué borracha
water?
eres, Paimon. Te juntas mucho con Venti, ¿eh?
What did you think it was?
Since you're the Chief Justice and all, I thought you'd prefer something more...
La Paimon es tan nosotras,
sophisticated.
tío. Plan tan nosotros.
This water is indeed very special. It would not be an overstatement to call it sophisticated.
Huh?
I believe you've already tried Fonta. In fact, there are many other drink factories in Fontaine, including those that specialize in packaging. Said water is sourced from all across Tevat, including Mondstadt's Cider Lake, Liu's Chintsa Village. Beer is one of their latest products. Water from Sumeru's Apam Woods. If I were to comment on their mouthfeel, the waters of Cider Lake warm the heart. The waters of Chintsa Village have a poignant touch.
No, de aguas
Well, one
entiende
might call the waters
perfectamente.
of
Sabéis que
Conda
yo con las
Village
marcas de agua,
placid.
que soy muy tiquismiqui, no me gustan todas. Me gustan X marcas, porque les noto sabor diferente.
Distinct differences exist between the waters of each area. You will appreciate their intricacy.
Really? Let Paimon try!
Paimon va a decir ahora, sabe a agua.
What do you think?
Nope. Paimon couldn't...
How regrettable. It seems like you still have a long way to go in refining.
Hey, this doesn't have to do with refining our taste. Paimon's pretty sure most ordinary people can't tell the difference. How did you do it anyway? Oh, could it be because you're the Hydro Dragon? We are allowed to bring that up, right? Oh, Paimon's been wanting to ask this for ages. If you...
Neuvillette odia el desierto, siempre que voy con él se me queja diciendo que es muy seco y falta agua. ¿Eso es cierto o estáis metiendo conmigo? Plan, o estáis quedando conmigo. La rutina de belleza de Neuvillette se basa en agua y juicios.
Sorry, Paimon was just curious.
There's nothing to hide. I was simply organizing my thought. I accepted this position because I wanted to seek out answers to questions that have perplexed
Questions? Are there really things you can't think?
many, in fact. But the one question that puzzles me the most concerns my own existence. In essence, I neither know why I was born in this form, nor do I understand. I lost many memories from the moment I was born. The primordial sea, for example.
Que Neuvillette
I
dice que
can
lo está
only
intentando
vaguely
castigar o
recall its
matar por
connection
traerlo
to
al
me,
desierto. ¿Es
but I'm
verdad?
unaware of what that connection is exactly.
¿En serio, tío?
Perhaps the elemental dragons of other nations may have some form of an answer. However, they are scattered across all of Teyvat. Abruptly visiting could very well pose an
True. Some of them have very...
I have been holding on to these unanswered questions for a long time. But there is one thing I've discovered along the way. My emotions easily resonate with those of others. My guess would be that there are at least some similarities between humans and myself. By observing their behavior...
Have you made any progress then?
Perhaps, but I find such progress difficult to describe. As an outsider, chances to engage in meaningful interactions with... That's why I'm quite thankful for this chat. Such opportunities are rare. Alas, time is limited. We should move on with our investigation.
Are we gonna continue reading these documents? Paimon's getting
I wasn't able to find any leads even after browsing through most of the documents. But while we were...
Water? Do you mean...
That's right. The Fountain of Lucine is where all of Fontaine's waters converge. If there really were an organization attempting to use Melusines against me, they should... Perhaps we'll be able to find some new leads by sensing the hydro element within the fountain.
Huh. Why didn't Paimon think of that? Come on, let's go take a look!
Perhaps we should go. There shouldn't be too many people near the Fountain of Lucine.
Bueno, vamos a ver.
I probably shouldn't disturb them.
Looks like we got lucky today. There's hardly anyone around.
What should we do? Oh, Traveler, can you still hear the voices from the fountain?
Perhaps leave the investigation to me. I need you to take a few...
A safe distance? Neuvillette, what exactly are you... Oh, it's glowing!
¿Para cuándo el acto 5? Mañana, mañana. Acto 5 completo. ¿Qué le pasa? Carol, la Carol es... Pobrecita.
Thank you for bringing us here, Miss... The court of Fontaine is truly incredible. There's so many...
I understand your excitement, but there's no need to thank me. Although I have responded to your wishes, it was not without personal interest. Melusine's special sight make them especially suited for joining the Maréchaux.
I know, but I'm really glad to be of... Not only can I repay you for your kindness, but also, it feels like my life has become a lot...
But a meaningful life also comes with its risks.
It's definitely the safest to just stay in the village, but I want to see the outside world nonetheless. In truth, I've never really understood the purpose of my existence, or what I'm capable of contributing to this world. For almost 20 years, we've stayed in our village without finding any answers. That's why we wanted to leave our village and look for the meaning of our existence elsewhere.
I understand your confusion. In fact, I feel the same way. I too came here for an answer to my questions about...
Really? Could you tell us what we should do to fit in as you did? The truth is, many people threw rocks at us today and told us to go back to our village. It hurt a lot when they hit me in the head.
Logically speaking, both time and effort are essential when different species attempt to peacefully coexist. It will be a difficult road. Different identities and ways of thinking all contribute to strengthening the barrier between one another. Removing it will be no easy feat. There aren't many suggestions I can share, because just like you, I haven't fully integrated into this society. Despite my social status, I am...
Oh, I see. Let's all do our best then. I'm confident that we'll find the meaning of our existence one day.
I believe in you, but you shouldn't lose sight of the difficulties ahead. If you run into any trouble, I suggest that you inform Vautrin, the captain.
Huh? Is he the person I met in the Palais Mermot?
Yes? Do you have any concern?
That stone-faced human. He didn't even bother to look at me when I tried talking to him.
He is an earnest man. There will be plenty of opportunities to work together in the future.
Hello. Can I help with anything?
Thanks, but no need.
Oh. Hello. I'm Carol. A Melazine.
Get away from here! I'm calling the guards!
Please, calm down. I don't mean to cause any...
Hard to say.
Yeah, we should probably stay away from these monsters. Haven't you realized?
Why should we trust this species from who knows where anyway? I can't believe Neuvillette allowed them into the court of Fontaine just like that.
Exactly. That so-called Chief Justice even granted them official positions. Not only that, but they're now responsible for investigating cases as well. I swear, there's some hidden agenda at play here.
Go away! Quit acting innocent!
I'm not leaving. I won't let you say bad stuff about him. We joined the Maréchaussée Phantom and solved lots and lots of cases.
Solving cases? With Neuvillette in cahoots with you? You could have... So tell me, how can you guarantee that you Melazines aren't involved in anything that occurred recently?
Didn't I tell you before? Don't go advertising if you're not a good talker.
Vautrin?
Aside from spreading unjustified rumors, if you continue insulting members of the Maréchaussée Phantom, the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol has every right to subject you to interrogation. There have indeed been an increase in cases recently, perhaps due to the shifting currents of
Even the captain of the security patrol is on their side.
Neuvillette
Neuvillette's newly reformed police force is already...
How can two completely different species possibly coexist?
You heard that?
Yeah. I don't understand.
There have been rumors saying that you were born from calamity, and that you inherently bring... There are countless negative rumors about you floating around in Fontaine. It's near impossible for you to become a part of this society.
Monsieur Neuvillette said that we needed to put both time and effort in. I don't know how long it'll take. I still want to try a little harder. Okay, I won't be taking any more of your time. I painted a lot of flyers last night, so I have to stay...
Give them to me.
Qué mono el Vautrin ese.
You're...
We'll hand them out together. The faster we get this done.
Oh, qué mono. Qué manía, porque no puedo ir más rápido, tío. Sé que es el ambiente y desarrollo, pero...
Monsieur Neuvillette, what's this?
Medals of Peace, awarded to you and Vautrin. Thank you for your continued dedication in the past 5 years. You've taken one small step forward in helping Melazines gain the trust of humans.
I think I'll pass.
Hey, don't say that. We wouldn't have made it this far without you. It won't be long before Melazines begin living peacefully with the humans.
Don't keep your hopes up. We've barely scratched the surface. There's still a long way to go before that dream of yours comes true.
You blockhead! Don't ruin the mood!
Vautrin brings up a good point. The trust humans have placed in you is still very fragile. Any small incident could undermine the hard work you've put in. Please be on your guard for the next few days.
Yes, sir.
Okay, got it.
Medal of Peace? Peace isn't going to give us back what's right.
Are you sure we should do this? We're no match for Neuvillette, even with all our power.
Nah, not gonna happen. As long as he remains in his position, there's no chance he'd take it. There are rules even he must comply with in the political sphere. So quit worrying and just go ahead with it. I've already planned out the murder. Once we lay the blame on the Melusines as the person who brought them to the court of Fontaine, Neuvillette will be left with no excuse.
I guess you're right. Ugh. If he just left things the way they were, it never would have come.
Aquí van a matar, tío.
Turn the murderer in!
Melusines can't be trusted! That goes for Neuvillette too!
Qué lástima.
Peaceful coexistence? What a joke. Get out of the court of Fontaine and don't ever come back!
The results of the investigation are in...
Go on.
There is no direct evidence, but reasonable inference indicates that the ones controlling the situation are supporters of the old... They tricked Miss Carroll into going to the crime scene and pressed charges against her. After that, they incited panic among the people in order to make Monsieur Neuvillette confess to his mistakes, and the guards were stopped by the enraged mob and couldn't intervene in time. Miss Carroll...
And she called me a blockhead. A little investigation would have cleared things up. Why didn't she wait until we'd established the truth?
The situation had rapidly escalated to a physical altercation between infuriated citizens.
That is indeed something she'd do.
Captain Vautrin, should I present these results to Monsieur Neuvillette?
There's no need. Notify the guards to restrict public access to all...
Restrict access to...
There's something I've never told Carol. I had a little sister. She's just like Carol in every possible way. Innocent, kind, always... From the moment I met Carol, I knew that she'd be easily manipulated by others. I kept a cold demeanor and tried lecturing her into giving up.
Looks like she was unfazed by...
Yes. In fact, some of her spirit must have rubbed off on me instead. I should have known. Those cowards don't have the guts to confront Neuvillette. They even avoided causing trouble for me. Can you understand how I feel? Right now, there's only one thought on my mind.
I understand, but I'm certain Monsieur Neuvillette wouldn't accept that.
That's exactly why we need to keep this a secret. Give me the list of suspects. I will take responsibility for everything.
Did you know? They're hearing a major case today, and the criminal is Captain Vautrin. Apparently, he resorted to personal measures to seek revenge for Carol.
I'm thinking... we should try our best to bail him out when the trial commences.
Bail him out? Why?
Shh, keep it down! Haven't you realized? Both Vautrin and Carol are Neuvillette's most trusted subordinates. Besides, now that the old regime has been uprooted, Neuvillette's status is secure as can be. As long as we redirect public opinion.
Vautrin sought vengeance for his friend for a valid cause. This represents the justice he upholds. Please think about it. If the same thing had happened to you, wouldn't you feel the same way he did? Yeah, that's right!
This whole thing started because of those despicable cowards who levied false accusations against Carol. How could Vautrin...
Monsieur Neuvillette.
Mr. Vautrin is innocent! He's innocent!
Order! I acknowledge your arguments. Vautrin, I understand your decision. Which is why I cannot help but personal justice does not equate to justice as defined by the law. To execute your plan for revenge, you abused your authority and therefore, you will be declared guilty.
Hasta la propia justicia impulsa a veces, tío.
What?
That can't be!
Lo que se
Monsieur
toma
Neuvillette,
como
please give this a little more thought. He has done so much for Fontaine.
Pero bueno.
Vautrin, my friend,
Neuvillette, what have I done to deserve this? I've closely followed every one of your orders. Can't you see? Everyone in this room believes that I'm innocent. Is this what justice means to you? Answer me, Neuvillette!
Eso es del tráiler. This is your justice, Neuvillette.
Order.
Porque hay que sacrificar a su primer amigo por ser leal. Bueno, leal a las leyes. Eso sí, leal. No porque fuera lo justo realmente.
Since there have been no further objections, the oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charges against Mr. Vautrin. According to the judgment of the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinal.
Joder.
Goodbye, Monsieur Neuvillette.
This all happened because of Carol's naive ideas.
How can different species peacefully coexist anyway?
Hey, stop spacing out! What's wrong? Are you not feeling well?
Apologies, it seems like my memories got the better. I tried my best to suppress the power of Hydro within myself, but it seems like it's still caused due to my negligence. The overflow of emotions and memories must have affected you as well.
Wow. The Hydro Dragon is more... Anyways, the last time we came here, the Traveler only...
It is as you said. This might be because I am different. It is not only the fountain. I can sense emotions from all waters in Fontaine. Rivers, lakes, and even the rain.
That sounds awesome!
But I rarely ever do anything like this. Emotions carried by water are always chaotic and disconnected. As an outsider, having my mind occupied... Which ones? It's fine. I prefer not to speak of those memories. That does not... It was a coincidence, but perhaps it is a good thing that you should now understand why I believe there to be a conspiracy behind all this. These two cases are much too similar. I felt like I needed to do something.
Paimon's starting to lose track of what you're saying. Don't leave Paimon out of the conversation. Paimon wants to help too.
Claro que Paimon ahora mismo no sabe nada.
Then let us get back to the point. While I was investigating the fountain, I discovered I did not sense too much hatred towards me within its accumulated emotions. I don't know what caused this to happen, but it seems like there won't be a short... However, I did find some resentment directed towards Kiara. If I remember correctly, it seemed to be...
Oh! Didn't we read about that?
You've read about it. In that case, the resentment should have come from that
Huh? What are you doing here?
Navia.
I was just about to look for you at the
Navia! Nice to see you again! Is there some...
I've heard some things, but I'm not purposely asking around or anything. Don't worry. Rumors are abroad that someone's scheming against Melusines, and that you're investigating the case.
Y como a Navia le gusta tanto el chisme, pues quizá.
So I told the Spina di Rosula to keep an eye out for leads. We've had unfamiliar faces showing themselves at the Fleuve Cendre lately.
Thank you. Where did you hear about all this?
The Chief Justice out on investigation, accompanied by the Traveler from afar. No matter how you conceal your whereabouts, there will be countless... You talked to Kiara, but didn't ask her to keep things secret. People curious to know asked around for information, then it was only a matter of time before word of the threatening letter spread all across Fontaine.
So that's what Charlotte meant.
Indeed. I did not expect that this could be kept hidden for too long, but the rumors still spread faster than I imagined.
You know, it could be because you attract more attention. Anyway, any progress with the investigation?
The suspects who threatened Kiara might have to do with a certain smuggling case, but it is still uncertain if there is in fact another party behind all. We are planning to return to the Palais Mormonia to revisit some details and identify the senders of that threatening letter.
All right, then I'll round up the Spina di Rosula and follow... Wait for my word. Ta-ta!
Neuvillette, do you think there'll be any problems now that the word is out?
I have already considered that possibility, and I do not think that there will be any. As a matter of fact, once the word gets out, no one would dare to harm Kiara in broad daylight. What is more important is how the case is perceived by the public. 400 years ago, they chose to side with the old regime and direct their resentment towards the Melu. I hope the same won't happen again. Let us head back to the palais.
No creo que se pongan esta vez en contra de las Melusina. Han pasado muchísimos años. Han avanzado. Uy. Han tirado 180 santísimos.
What are these people doing out on the streets so late at night? Did something happen? Let's take a look around.
Have you heard? Someone's plotting against a Melazine. This is 100% the truth. Even the Chief Justice is investigating in person.
What? That's it! Who's been threatening Melazines? Show yourself!
Our enemies are lurking in the shadows and won't easily reveal themselves. But no amount of hiding will keep us from finding them.
That's exactly what I wanted to say. The guards have already begun to take action. We can't just stand by and watch. Think about how much we owe them. Now that they're in danger, how can we just sit back and do nothing?
Everyone, please stay alert to your surroundings from now on. If you see any suspicious persons...
Qué monazo, mira cómo anda.
It feels like you've been following me this whole time. Did something happen?
We were informed that. Nope. We just finished our shifts and
Have you had dinner yet? Why don't we check out the new...
This isn't a good time to be out and about.
Tiene hambre.
Come on. Don't act tough. All right. Let's go buy a cake or something.
Anda, hija. Sé que tienes hambre.
You shouldn't ever skip meals. Especially if you have another shift scheduled for late.
Qué bonazo.
I heard even Neuvillette's keeping an eye on the situation. This is the perfect chance to get promoted. We gotta make sure we give it all we've got.
Seriously? Were you planning to shirk your duties if Neuvillette wasn't involved?
Relax, I was just playing. We've worked together for years now. If something happened to them, I'd be haunted by regret for the rest of my life.
That's more like it. We should stand guard until the criminal has been caught.
Come and fight me instead, you cowards!
Have you heard? Even the special patrol came to help. Shh, look. Isn't that Neuvillette?
Looks like there's nothing to worry about.
This is truly wonderful.
So, wanna go over?
No, I should stay where I am. My appearance could give rise to unnecessary commotion. Let us stick to our plan and return to the Palais Momonia. The faster we uncover...
Busca algún documento sospechoso. Ah, pero si era el que le ha dado, ¿no? Claro, lo he liado con que era el de...
The smuggling case was solved by the joint... The list of involved suspects should be...
What does it say?
The principal offenders Domenico, Inica, Yuna, and others have been caught. Those with close connections or mutual interests with the offenders but who did not participate in the case. Among them, surveillance of Essin has ceased on account of his good behavior. All other personnel remain on our watch list.
So many names. Is the one who sent that threatening letter to Kiara on the...
Yes, there is something suspicious about Essin, to be precise. It seems like he's closely related to the core members of the smuggling case, and he moves around with...
Monsieur Neuvillette, someone claiming to be from the Spina Durasula just checked in with us. He said, and I quote, "We have located the suspect,
Huh? How did Navia find them so quickly? We've
que
only just figured out the suspect's
Navia
name.
en encontrar personas muy top, ¿eh?
I too am perplexed. The cafe isn't too far from here. We should head over and take a look.
Vamos a reunirnos con Navia entonces. Ah, vale, me rayó. ¿Qué será que a Navia se le da también encontrar gente sospechosa? No lo sé.
Squall and Fury. Yeah.
Whoa. Check out all these people!
These are the people who have had recent dealings at the Marechaussee Phantom. They're usually hidden in the Fleuve Cendre, but I sent for someone to invite them over.
Invite them over?
Exactly. Now, I heard there's great coffee here, and so...
Yeah, it's our pleasure to be guests of the Spina.
La cara de la gente en plan... todo cohibido.
I've wanted to have a meetup like this for ages.
Something feels... but... oh well, let's get back to business. Is there anyone called Essa here?
Yes, that's me.
You're Essa?
Yes, monsieur.
Did you write that threatening letter to Kiara?
Se va a cagar vivo.
I did, but I was just following orders.
¿De quién se cagan más? Pregunta seria. ¿De Navi o de Neuvillette?
Orders from whom?
Domenico. He was my boss. I couldn't disobey his order.
Domenico. Where is he now?
The fortress of Meropide.
Well, I'm afraid even the Spina would have... Looks like you'll have to make the trip yourselves.
You've done more than enough. I'm extremely grateful for your help.
Leave the formalities for later. You should find Domenico. If he really is the one setting up the conspiracy, it'd be...
Alright then, let's head to the fortress right now!
Literal. Prosigue la misión. Qué manía fea, Vamos a ver al duque otra vez. Es que no nos libramos. El duque quiere lo que quiere. Señor duque.
Welcome to the fortress of Meropide, dear esteemed
We're back! Oh, and a greeting from none other than the Duke himself! Guess we made a name for...
This isn't anything new. I figured you had important matters to discuss when the two of you... Let's assume we've gone through the pleasantries and cut right to the chase. I do remember a thing or two about Domenico. He once attempted to
Who does this guy think he is?
He once attempted to, I said, meaning that it was over before it even started. And now he's threatening Melazines, is he?
Tremenda reunión de narcóticos.
To be honest, Domenico doesn't seem like much of a conspirator. The fact that the three of you bothered to personally investigate raises a flag.
He's got the same concerns we do.
I am concerned about this incident because something similar has occurred in the past. I wish to meet Domenico in...
That's an
no
easy
viene a
one.
Cuento, pero lo que
Let me
más me
think.
raya de
I think
Paimon
he's
son
at...
sus manos. O sea, es como manos en plan de humano. Muy finas, muy elegantes. Que no le concuerdan, en mi opinión, con el cuerpo. Pero es que Paimon está extraña.
Oh, did I hear someone say Melazine? What happened?
Si alguien dice Melucinas, aquí está Sigwin.
Sigwin! Yeah, and we're investigating. The person who threatened her seems to really... Is Kiara gonna be okay?
There's no need to worry. Clarande is protecting her as we speak.
Well, that's great. But if the criminal's still...
Ah, head nurse. Do you require me to personally deal with the criminal?
¿Qué va a tener de manos entonces? Una Jumpers. Se supone que Paimon es una especie de hada. No, pero a ver. Es que tiene las mismas manos que Sigwin y mira el tamaño. Me refiero a que tuvieran manitas en plan para su tamañito, no sé. Pero mirar sus manos, no sé. Es que no me concuerda con el cuerpo.
Wriothesley.
Okay, I get it. I'll bring Domenico to you. That's your only demand.
Think of it as more of a humble request. I'm here on my own accord, not thanks for the trouble. Consider me in your debt.
Whoa! If Paimon were the Duke, Paimon would take this chance to ask for something really important.
Wow, si Paimon fuera tú, aprovecharía para pedir algo muy grande a cambio. ¿Paimon?
Well, were I still a criminal, I'd probably ask for a lighter sentence. But I'm sure Monsieur Neuvillette would reject that. But enough jokes. I'll look for Domenico and bring him to you. Make yourselves at home. Our dear head nurse has mentioned you quite a few times, so I'm sure she has a lot to say.
Please come with me to the infirmary.
¿Y esto por qué lo tengo? Ah, la historia principal. Me he rayado, ¿verdad? Ah, podemos ir andando.
The wind rises.
Esto de ir andando, tío. Espérate, vamos a aprovechar. A ver qué me dicen hoy. Qué buena pinta. La suerte temporal solo trae un breve instante de satisfacción. La felicidad duradera en la vida sigue dependiendo del trabajo duro y del progreso. Tío. Os juro que el mensaje coincide con... O sea, no sé cómo explicaros, pero... Parece que sea verdad, tío. En plan...
This place soon. Huh?
Please rest here for a moment. Oh, and would anyone like anything to drink? Paimon's not that thirsty, but think thirst is a warning sign that you're dehydrated, which means you have to drink up even before that. I'll bring you some tea. I'm sure you'll have a lot to talk about.
¿Qué obsesión tiene con el té? La Seaqueen y el frío.
Typical Seaqueen. Concerned about why aren't you two saying anything?
You noticed them too. The badges they wore on their chest.
Familiar? Paimon didn't even realize they were with, but if both of you say so, let's go ask them about it.
That's not a bad idea.
La misteriosa organización.
Too slow.
Se supone que necesito ahora.
Anything you need?
¿Verdad? Tiré algo raro ahí.
Oh, this? Are you interested in joining?
What's that?
Es de ayuda mutua. Tiene una pinta secta, peor que la nuestra de Kiki.
We have a very long history, going back as far as 400 years ago.
Ooh.
We have never had many members throughout our history, nor do we have much of a reputation. Helping each other is our purpose. At the same time,
sounds like a pretty neat organization.
all we want is to defend ourselves. None of us have ever committed serious crimes, and we're not especially powerful either. But people won't give us a hard time if we stick together.
¿Qué cara triste tienes?
You two look kind of... It's the symbol of the Mutual Aid Network. From what I've heard, it's based on something called a Medal of Peace. I've never seen one of those medals. The first president of our network was an amazing person. Powerful as he was, all of us have a lot of respect for him.
Vale, y me queda...
Interested in joining the Mutual Aid Network?
No.
If you'd like to learn more, here's our flyer.
No me vas a enganchar. Ayudarse mutuamente ante la adversidad. Hace todo lo posible para hacer justicia. No odiar un juicio justo. Esto es nuestro principio de la letra pequeña.
Our slogan may have evolved over the centuries, but our goal has remained unchanged. Here, this book is for you. You're welcome to come and sign up anytime.
We should have gathered enough information. Let's head back and talk.
Estás sentado ahí, tan mono.
Did you manage to gather any intel?
The people who wore the badges, according to them, the badge's design was inspired by the Medal of Peace.
I personally crafted 2 of them myself. Carol's medal was destroyed in a fire. The only one that remained should belong to Vautrin.
Oh, so the network was inspired by...
Monsieur Neuvillette, His Grace has requested your presence in his office.
All right. Let us talk to him first and get to the bottom of this.
No debe quedar mucho, ¿no? Supone que vamos a resolver el temita.
Quit following me.
Había dicho que iba a poner acá.
Time to go.
Pero es que Trotis vuela.
Allow me to introduce this fine gentleman. Why don't you explain everything to him?
Neuvillette? What do you want?
Calm down. I merely want to ask you a few questions. Was it your idea to send that letter to a Melusine? Hassan has already confessed, so there really isn't any—
That idiot! I can't believe—
Let me ask this another way. It was your idea to send that letter, correct?
Yes.
Who is pulling your strings?
What? You're not trying to frame me for something I haven't done, are you?
It's best if you realize the gravity of your situation. The Chief Justice of Fontaine— I assume your previous attempt to incite unrest at the Fortress of Meripede has something to do with this as well.
I admit I acted on impulse. I'll tell you the truth.
I can do that.
You see, we're all reasonable people here.
I only intended to do some small business at first. Someone contacted me about delivering some goods and promised me a generous sum of more in return. After making a few trips, I was suddenly approached by the Marechaussee Phantom. They accused me of smuggling prohibited items, and I was put on trial. But I refused to accept any of that. The ignorant can be rightfully absolved from guilt, right? Well, I suspect that someone got me locked up here so they could get their hand—
And then you decided to take revenge on the Melusines?
My initial target was Neuvillette. Everyone in the Fortress of Meripede was declared guilty by him, after all. But for some reason, no one wanted to team up with me. That mutual aid network— In the end, I had to redirect my focus onto Melusines to salvage things. I recall that Kiara was the one who confiscated my goods for inspection, so I asked one of the more approachable guards to send a letter, claiming that I meant to contact my family.
Hay tantas personas así, tío.
But the letter was in fact addressed to Essa. I requested that he write a threat letter to Kiara and force her to resign from the—
Am I to assume that the claims you've made are your own thoughts?
No.
Is it true that all members involved in the smuggling scandal have been caught?
Yes. And that's all I know.
Sigewinne, please take him back to the detention center. I'll deal with him later. So, Monsieur Neuvillette, you were concerned that there might be a shadowy
Yes. I experienced a similar incident in the past.
And how long ago was this incident?
More than 400 years.
Ah, la semana pasada.
You might be overthinking this. Time can change a lot of things.
What do you mean?
400 years ago, you and the Melusines you brought to Fontaine were the outliers in society. But in the present day, if someone were to threaten the safety of the Melusines, people wouldn't just sit back and do nothing.
Muy diferente.
I trust—
That's right! We saw lots of people standing up for Melusines.
Monsieur Neuvillette, the Melusines are a species you introduced to Fontaine. How the public treats them is also— When people refused to place their trust in Melusines, it was because they were still on the fence about you, their unfamiliar Chief Justice. For almost 500 years, you've conducted every trial with impartiality. You made the right judgment each time, regardless of whatever nonsense went on. People no longer have any reservations about you, and even consider you— Right now, your every decision will impact all of Fontaine.
Paimon gets it now. No wonder no one wanted to join forces with—
I am undeserving of such high compliments. From my perspective, I have simply been— It isn't anything special or worthy of praise. I'm simply fulfilling the promises I've made, and so it is unnecessary to hold me in such high regard. The complexity of human emotions and willpower far exceed those of mine.
There's no need to be so modest. The current state of affairs says it all. You're no longer that outsider you were before. Even if you wish to investigate something on—
I must say that you've made a fair point. Thank you for clearing my doubts. Now that the case has been settled, I should get going.
Huh? You're leaving?
And so soon, too? Why not stay for a cup of tea?
Thank you for the offer, but I know how this place works all too well. While some are here to redeem themselves, there will inevitably be those who harbor resentment. The less time I spend here, the better. My presence could very well result in an
In that case, I'll have to insist. I still have 2 more things to say.
Please, go ahead.
The first is about the guard who helped Domenico send that letter.
Ah, I know of what you... The guard was indeed deployed from the Palais Memoria's staff. However, as I mentioned earlier,
Well, that makes things a lot easier. Hey now, don't let your imagination run wild.
No debes correr la imaginación. Contigo es difícil.
Those from up there have a tendency to sympathize with others. However, down here, such thoughts will put you at high risk. I'll have a chat with the guard and remind him to take precautions in the future.
I see no issues with that.
Great! That's one thing out of the way. What?
The other thing was born from my own sense of curiosity. Now, I've heard that you investigated the mutual aid network.
Yep. Neuvillette thought their badges looked familiar.
I noticed the small gang as well when I first took over the Fortress of Meripede. They were not great in number, but I've looked into their founder, Vautrin, who once stood trial and was sentenced to imprisonment in the fort. According to existing documentation, Vautrin remained disciplined throughout his imprisonment. In other words, how he presented himself in prison was very different from his behavior in court.
What? During his trial, I could sense that his feelings were complicated. He appeared to be full of resentment, and I believe he had every right to feel that way.
Perhaps he had been putting on an act.
An act?
Neuvillette and Vautrin had a close relationship as superior and subordinate. Vautrin must have known that thus, the more resentment he displayed, the clearer it would be to those present that you were upholding justice, and to those who had been sitting on the fence, Vautrin's act was... That's all from me. Does anyone else have anything to say? Now's your chance.
I don't have anything to say, apart from expressing my gratitude, that is.
Técnicamente, si Neuvillette se hubiera dejado llevar por los sentimientos en ese momento, hubiera quedado muy mal, por mucho que le digan. Entonces, haciendo lo que ha hecho de encerrar a su amigo, pues ha mantenido su reputación de leal.
Well then, let us head back.
Y de la imagen de la ley que tiene este hombre.
Please, take care.
That trial is something I rarely bring up in conversation, but I have always felt deep regret for what happened to both Carol and Vautrin. The words he spoke in court often replay in my mind, as if urging me on to do something.
But Risley said he never resented you, right? Isn't that a good thing?
I believe I now understand what he wanted to tell me. I feel conflicted about those words. How should I describe it? Surprise, relief, fear, and regret. But this blend of emotions has led me to finally understand some things. I would like to hear your thoughts too. What do you think of me?
Paimon agrees with everything Risley said. As Chief Justice, every single one of your trials makes an impact on Fontaine. Hey, any comments?
What I really think is...
¡Uy, que va a hablar, que va a hablar, que va a hablar! Déjenla, que va a hablar. Que no habla desde Nahida.
Every trial you've ever judged has left its impression on you. And that's what makes you who you are today.
That is indeed a reasonable assumption. As I said, I find it difficult to express my emotions because I cannot fully understand myself. But I trust your judgment. Since some time ago, I have begun to notice the changes that have occurred upon my person.
Si tu forma de ser no cambia, ni una pizca.
These changes were not due to any specific occurrence, but emerged as a result of time itself.
Tiene unos ojazos en Neuvillette.
I will try to contemplate this further.
Me encantan los detalles
Thank you
que
both.
tienen los personajes de Genshin en los ojos. Son detalles muy cuidados en los ojos. Sobre todo los de Naldan, ¿eh? Uy.
Oh. Huh? It's raining! Oh no! Paimon forgot to bring an umbrella! Come on, let's hurry before it rains harder!
Pero si llueve porque él está triste, ¿no?
It's raining again? I've had enough of this weather.
There go my travel plans.
Ya, pero Paimon es tonta.
Did you read the news this morning? Quick, put away everything on the clothesline.
When is this rain going to stop?
Hydro Dragon, don't cry!
¿Cómo sabía esa niña, tío?
They're planning to reanimate the monster. We have to report this to the Chief Justice.
The Fortress of Meripede. It's a good place for me.
Qué mona, sí, güey.
He owes me so many answers.
Neuvillette? You could say he's the real symbol of Fontaine's justice.
Watch him closely. He could be trouble.
How can two completely different species possibly coexist?
Who's been threatening Melusines? Show yourself!
You will see much in the human world, from the delightful to the depressing. And one day, when you have dwelt among humanity long enough, you will be placed to bring judgment over all as a spokesperson for Fontaine's past.
Good morning, Monsieur Neuvillette! The rainy season's almost over! The skies are supposed to clear in a few days!
I hope you find time to enjoy the sunny days ahead.
Qué bonito.
Is the matter resolved?
Yep, we found the person who sent that threatening letter. Risley said he'd keep a close eye on him, so the Melusines should—
Oh, that's wonderful.
Qué bonito es.
Sorry for dragging you all.
Gracias por seguirme.
There's no need to apologize.
Yeah, you didn't drag us in. We got involved of our own accord.
By the way, where's Kiara?
At the Palais Marmonia. More than 50 people offered to
50
protect her.
personas han ofrecido
Some even
protegerla.
hid within the bushes till I was worried that the excess of protection would make her feel uneasy. So I asked her to stay inside the...
What a relief.
Well, now it looks like the dust has finally settled. To celebrate this joyous occasion, Monsieur Neuvillette.
That's not how you celebrate!
I will consider it.
Really?
Flipando la Charlotte.
Of course. My schedule is full for the following weeks, but I should be available next month. Come up with questions during the intervening days, and I will answer them to the best.
Se ha enamorado completamente.
Yes!
Now, if you'll excuse me, I must head back to the Palais and issue a communique to publicize our investigation results. I hope it will assuage the concerns of all.
Venga, volvemos a hablar. Tengo frío, sueño y hambre. Más no puedo tener. ¿Dormía? ¿Por qué no hablo?
It's quite all right. I'm here to tell you...
Monsieur Neuvillette? And thank you too, Traveler and Big Sis Paimon.
Do you remember Domenico? He was the...
Let me think. I can't remember. By the way, I saw Carol in my dreams just now. In my dream, she looked really happy. She held my hand and said, Kiara, our dreams... I can't remember what our dreams were anymore.
Si esta señora nos ha preguntado dónde sacaron después de 400 años.
I can sense your joy. It is indeed a delightful moment.
Monsieur Neuvillette, are you happy too?
Duerme como caballo.
I forgot. Am I allowed to go out? I promised to model for Alov.
Of course. Off you go.
See you next time, Monsieur.
See you next time.
¡Ay! ¿Ya se ha terminado? Me esperaba más. O sea, me esperaba que siguiera. ¡Qué mono! Me ha encantado. O sea, me ha encantado y a la vez como que es muy sentimental. Pero está muy muy bien, ¿eh? Está muy muy bien. En plan es tranquila, chill, pero a la vez toca sentimiento. Y está guay. Y nada, muchísimas gracias por llegar hasta aquí, por ver el vídeo. Y no te olvides de darle like y suscribirte para más misiones legendarias y para el acto 5 de Fontaine. Nos vemos en el siguiente vídeo. Gracias.